She said the original was outdated. Yeah, so my grandma, but I'm not out here trying to cancel her every time she tells a bedtime story.
You say the right things, disrespect the original content. They get paid to promote. Go about their day. But she just pushed left and right. God damn, babe. Chill.
Chill.
She might be lucky to even get cast into another role after.
She talks like she's got Beyonce's kind of influence. Thinks kids are out here begging for her version.
He is weightless. He adds nothing as an actress. He might as well be a background character or side character. She is nothing special.
That's saying in Zero Life Coaching. She's got pretty off the box office smash hit and take a sale with fire girl.
Rachel Zegler is weightless. I don't say this because of comments that she's made on social media. She can say what she wants. Doesn't help her case. She was one of the weakest actors.
Rachel Zegler's West End debut as Eva Perón at the iconic London Palladium was meant to be her redemption arc, a career-defining triumph. The cameras flashed, the audience buzzed, and a standing ovation closed the night. On the surface, it looked like a resounding success. But beneath the applause, a more complicated narrative emerged. Critics questioned the casting, longtime fans were divided, and social media lit up with controversy. What was meant to mark a breakthrough instead underscored the tensions surrounding Zegler's recent path, one shaped by undeniable talent, persistent debate, and a growing wave of public scrutiny.
Was it just doing the same thing again? I saw a video just now from the creator Matt Seiler, which I totally agree with, and I'll link it in the caption, where he's talking about how, it doesn't bother me when an artist's work looks like their other work. That's just called having an artistic voice. And I would take that even further and say that it's important to have some context about the style that Jamie Lloyd is working in. I would characterize Jamie Lloyd's work as following in the tradition of European Reggie theater, very specific, recognizable style or toolbox. I can see how it would feel if they were.
Multiple backstage sources suggest that the thunderous standing ovation at Rachel Zegler's Evita debut may not have been as spontaneous as it appeared. According to insiders, members of the cast and crew were allegedly encouraged to rise and applaud regardless of the performance's reception in a calculated effort to create a viral moment of triumph. The goal, they claim, was clear: to manufacture a headline-worthy success, countermounting criticism, and steer the narrative. But behind the curtain, whispers of inauthenticity continue to circulate. If these accounts are accurate, Zegler's night at the Palladium wasn't just theatrical on stage. It may have been a carefully choreographed spectacle aimed at shaping public perception. Allegedly, just days before opening night, a memo circulated among the production team containing explicit instructions for the cast and crew. Insiders report that they were directed to lead applause at key moments, display visible enthusiasm throughout the performance, and must critically listen and cheer during the final curtain call. The motive: optics. This wasn't just a premiere, it was a meticulously orchestrated effort to rehabilitate Rachel Zegler's image on a global stage. With cameras rolling and media attention poised, the production played it safe. It had to look like a triumph, authentic or not, because the world was watching, and failure simply wasn't an option.
Rachel Zegler is back in the news because her PR team is working overtime right now to fix her image, because so many of these resurfaced video clips of her just make her look really bad. What matters here is perception. Who she actually is actually has little consequence on any of this. How she's perceived by the world, that's what matters. And how she's perceived by the world is not good, because she hasn't been able to escape these interview clips, which show a clear disdain for the company she works for, a clear disdain for the story in which she's been hired to help portray and tell. Who she is really has little bearing on any of this. At the end of the day, Disney doesn't care who she really is. I'm sure the people that love her are her friends and family. She's plenty nice to them.
Many are now calling it one of the most calculated image resets in recent West End history. What initially appeared to be Rachel Zegler's triumphant debut is now under scrutiny as a meticulously staged PR campaign. Sources alleged choreographed applause, scripted standing ovations, and a tightly controlled media role at all, designed to create the illusion of overwhelming acclaim. This wasn't just about the performance, it was a carefully engineered reputational pivot, executed with precision. What could have been a genuine breakthrough in Zegler's career is increasingly being seen as a manufactured that prioritized optics over the authenticity of hard-earned success.
People are really mad at Rachel Zegler because of the actors and writers strikes that are happening in Hollywood. She just did an interview where she demanded to have her salary increased.
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress, an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
But considering she's making millions of dollars playing the role of Snow White, many became infuriated by her comments, saying sarcastic things like she has the perfect attitude for a Disney princess, and she seems like a ball of sunshine.
Yeah, this girl doesn't really help. The more she speaks, the less people want to watch it. And users in the comments didn't hold back. She's paid for a movie nobody asked for, and still nobody wants. Yep, and another one. Bro, she just blew up. Can she chill? She's being in exactly.
Rachel Zegler's West End debut felt less like a theatrical triumph and more like a calculated effort to reset a battered public image. After months of online backlash, swirling controversies, and persistent rumors from film sets, her turn as Eva Perón was framed as a redemptive comebacker, polished high-profile moment on one of theater's most prestigious stages. But now, doubts are creeping in. Was the acclaim truly earned? Or was the entire night a carefully crafted production designed to silence critics and script a win? With insider reports pointing to managed ovations and orchestrated media coverage, the line between genuine success and strategic spectacle has grown increasingly blurred, leaving many to wonder what really happened behind the curtain.
Feeling there was no world in which I said no. Perfect, thank you.
So what's the debut?
I haven't done a musical on stage since my senior year of high school for the Shrek musical. This was quite a different one than Shrek. It's just a little bit. Nobody lets me be funny a lot. I love to giggle.
You are very funny. There's a lot of fun in this rehearsal room. I don't think anyone's ever heard this song like this. You sing it just impeccably. It's incredible. It's a major achievement.
Thank you.
Acting-wise and vocally. And you're an icon as well to many.
It's a scary thought.
It's true though. Yeah.
What a privilege. I mean, truly, to get to portray two really powerful Latinas in musical theater with Maria and West Side Story and Eva Perón. It's like the stuff of dreams, really.
Yeah.
And here's where the story takes a darker turn. Insiders revealed that not everyone backstage was on board. Some crew members quietly pushed back against the plan, with one anonymous source admitting, it felt like we were part of a cover-up. Tensions simmered behind the scenes in easy glances, whispered concerns, but no one dared to speak out. The message was unspoken yet unmistakable: comply, or face the consequences. The pressure to fall in line was intense. If these accounts are accurate, this wasn't simply a theatrical performance, it was calculated damage control, masked as celebration, a moment not to honor a performance, but to shield a reputation. And now, as the carefully constructed narrative begins to crack, what comes next may reveal far more than anyone expected.
I'll say, when it comes to, you can't fake chemistry. Has to be a natural thing. It's very hard to find people that you're comfortable with, which is where the chemistry comes from, and it's an inherent sense of comfort with your scene partner, and I had that with Tom immediately. All of the scenes that we had to do together, before the day would really begin, before shooting would start, we would rehearse with Francis, and we would talk things through, what felt comfortable coming out of our mouths. A lot of that is credit to Michael Arndt and Mike Lassley, who wrote our script, but also just to Tom and I reading through it and talking about what made us comfortable, what made sense for the characters, because no one knows your character better than you. You're in their body every day. And it was very comfortable to settle into the body of Lucy Gray while Tom was in the body of...
If you glanced at the headlines the morning after the premiere, you'd think Rachel Zegler had pulled off the comeback of the decade. Major outlets praised her performance, electrifying, hailed one, a bold reimagining, declared another. Social media lit up with polished photos of Zegler taking her bow bathed in applause and camera flashes, her smile radiant. On the surface, it was a flawless opening night, but illusions often exist to conceal imperfections. Behind the cheers, a different narrative began to surface. Some audience members described the atmosphere as strained, tense, even oddly choreographed. The applause was loud, but now, the authenticity behind it is under serious question.
Totally! This looks like the theater I was at this weekend. It was
It's like me, my kids, and a few other little families in there, but the place was basically empty. Not a good omen.
One TikTok captured audience members quietly slipping out before intermission faces blank, confused, or simply disengaged. Backstage, producers were reportedly glued to their phones, anxiously monitoring social media reactions and managing PR fallout as if their careers were on the line because, in many ways, they were. This wasn't just a musical premiere. It was a high-stakes reputation rescue mission. Under that kind of pressure, authentic moments often get replaced by carefully curated optics. Every clap, every standing ovation, every perfectly timed photo of Rachel Zegler smiling beneath the spotlight may not have been a spontaneous celebration. It might have been a rehearsed act, staged to control the narrative rather than reflect the truth.
Watched it a few times and maybe became more familiar with the story. And before the script went through such a dramatic change that it sounds like she had a part in, Disney and accomplished with that, obviously with their production. We should have, watched it a little closely and maybe stayed a little closer to the original blockbuster, wonderful story written by whoever it was. But
the June 14th premiere of Evita was billed as Rachel Zegler's grand comeback, a chance to reclaim her narrative after months of public backlash, viral controversies, and career stumbles. On the surface, it looked like a resounding success, flashing cameras, glowing reviews, and a thunderous standing ovation. But behind the curtain, a far more complicated story is beginning to unfold. Multiple backstage sources reveal that just days before opening night, a confidential memo was circulated among the cast and crew. Its instructions were explicit: lead, applause, initiate standing ovations, and project a unified, emotional response regardless of how the audience actually reacted. This wasn't a soft suggestion, it was a firm directive. Staff were reportedly warned their compliance would be monitored and expected. The objective was clear: manufacture a triumphant moment that could be packaged and broadcast to the public, media, and industry insiders. And at first glance, it worked. But cracks appeared quickly. TikTok videos showed audience members quietly exiting before intermission, faces blank or disengaged. Reddit threads dissected the night frame by frame, pointing out stiff applause, awkward energy, and crew members clapping on cue. What was meant to be a heartfelt comeback began to resemble a tightly choreographed PR stunt. The issue isn't Zegler's performance itself, it's the illusion constructed around it. In today's culture, authenticity is everything, and audiences are quick to sense when something feels forced. Every overly timed cheer, every rehearsed smile chips away at credibility. Zegler may not have personally orchestrated the spectacle, but her team's heavy-handed effort to control the narrative risks backfiring. The staged ovation produced pristine publicity shots, but it also raised a deeper, more uncomfortable question: was any of it real? In the end, this manufactured triumph may have exposed its own fragility. And while image can be polished overnight, rebuilding genuine public trust is a much harder story to write.